Hey guys, Louise here. I hope you're all really well. It's Friday today here for me, so happy Friday. Hope you're all looking forward to the weekend. So as you all know, I'm a super duper big advocate for love, getting offline and connecting in real life. But one thing that has become really apparent to me this year with getting people offline into the real world and dating is that dating at singles events can be quite a daunting prospect if you haven't done them before, or you haven't done them for a little while, or perhaps you're a new single and the only thing that you do know is online dating, so you don't really know how to navigate singles events. So I guess it's my job, or the job of those in the dating industry, to share knowledge, and knowledge is power, especially in the search for a partner. So I have jotted down 7-ish top tips for you to navigate a singles event and hopefully have great success in feeling confident in being there, presenting yourself in the most positive way, and perhaps maybe even meeting a partner, if that's what obviously you're there for. So number one is leave your agenda at the door. So if you arrive at a singles event thinking, I want to find my partner tonight and this is the only singles event I ever want to go to, and I am putting so much pressure on myself to find my person, well, leave your agenda at the door and just arrive with an open mind that you might make new friends. If you haven't got a really big singles pool of friends, then tonight you will be sure to know that everyone in the room is single and you can make friends and go to different singles events in the future. Everyone in that room is perhaps like-minded, and so just know that you can have really great conversations if you choose to engage, and that you can take away a great experience. Try and go to a singles event where you can make memories and gain an experience even if you don't leave with finding a partner. So tip number 2 that I've jotted down is don't compare yourself to the competition. So if you have this analysis paralysis is what I call it, where you're comparing yourself to other people in the room. If you're a female, you might be thinking, oh gosh, I guess let's just say you're at a heterosexual event and you'll be thinking, oh, she's got a nicer dress on than me, or maybe she's got a better job than me, or maybe you're just comparing yourself to the levels of confidence of other people in the room. But I can assure you this, and that's just an example of a broad spectrum of examples. I can tell you this, that everyone who is single and they're rocking up to an event is quite courageous if you've not done it before. In general, you're just putting yourself out there, and that can be quite daunting. The same level of dauntingness if you're doing a presentation at the office, which I know is one thing that people fear the most. So just don't compare yourself to other people. You should only compare yourself to the person you were yesterday or the person you were an hour ago, and just to keep improving and have that in mind. Number 3 I've jotted down is to talk about anything other than work. So if you're there and thinking you're going to introduce yourself with your name and what you do for a living, well, unless your job is really definitive of, the whole of who you are, which I can imagine is not true, then don't lead with that. Lead with passions, lead with hobbies, lead with finding common ground of why you're there and how you heard about the event, and try and find some footing in common ground, because otherwise you can end up steering yourself down this path of talking about your profession, and actually, who wants to talk about work all the time? You want to find that balance, and just remember to try and leave work at the door. Leave your agenda at the door was tip number 1. And so just to recap, don't compare. So number 4, be the most confident version of you. And what I mean by that is that if you're not feeling confident, you're feeling a little bit, I guess, out of your depth, maybe a fish out of water at a singles event, which is all completely normal and most people feel the same, is fake it until you become it. So just work the room, try and have conversations with everybody in the room as best you can, be engaging, and just kind of like shoulders back and present yourself in the best way that you know how, and really do fake it, and you will eventually become confident. So number 5 is to be fearless in the pursuit of your person. I see all too often at singles events where one person will be attracted to the other, but they feel far too shy to go over and say hello. Well, the thing is about booking onto a singles event is that everyone is in the same boat and everyone's there for the same reason. So that person in the room does want to meet other singles that is, you know, perhaps looking at you, caught each other's eye, and you can hear an airplane out my window, don't even worry about it. Go over, you've got nothing to lose. One thing that you will do though, if you don't say hello to that person that you've caught eyes with, is you'll leave with a sense of regret, not knowing whether that was, you know, potentially your person or your chance. And I do believe that whatever's meant for you in life will never pass you by, but don't lead with that thought. You know, leave having known that you've done the very best that you can do at that singles event. So be fearless in the pursuit of finding your person while you're there. Number 6, go it alone. So I often say that if you go to a singles event and you go with your girlfriend or your guy friend, is you just end up chatting about what you're going to do for brunch, or what you've been up to, what you've been doing since you've seen each other last, and you can forget the reason why you're there. Often if you're solo at an event as a single, what can happen is people feel more like they can approach you. If you're sat in a group that can feel a little bit to onlookers a bit cliquey, then it can feel a little bit more daunting to approach that person or that group of people. So I guess what I'm saying is, when you're in deep conversation with someone that you clearly know, for someone that might be attracted to you in the room or inquisitive about you, it can be a bit of a barrier for them to approach a conversation. So you will have more success if you're there as a solo, in my experience. So number 7 is not to drink excessively. I know that you can feel nervous, and having a glass of wine or 2 or 3 can often feel like, you know, the right thing to do to promote some Dutch courage for the event. As a single specifically, just don't drink too much. Like, you know, you never get a second chance to make that all important first impression. And if that first impression is of you a little bit tiddly, which I guess it can be normal, and I see it often at singles events, but just be your best self. Just, you know, if that person isn't, you know, right for you, then it will, you know, it will come out in the wash very quickly. So don't get too drunk and just enjoy it, because inevitably you want to remember what you've learned, the people you've chatted to, and, you know, to get someone's number if you are attracted to them. So work the room the best you can, be the most confident version of yourself, leave your agenda at the door, go it alone, all of those good things. So I'm Sarah Louise Ryan, and I just wanted to share with you a few top tips to navigate singles events successfully if you are feeling a little bit like a fish out of water as a single in the real world, offline, and when you're getting connected and making new memories. So that's all from me, and I'll see you again soon, and drop by my website to say hi. Lessons in Love. Bye for now.